What would happen if you could unlock a new version of yourself in just 3 days? Imagine this for a moment. What if you had the power to change everything about your life? Not in years, not in months, but in just 3 short days. It might sound impossible, it might even sound like a stretch, but let me tell you something. The only thing standing between where you are right now and where you want to be is the way you speak to yourself. In the next 3 days, you have the potential to change everything by changing one thing, the way you talk to yourself. Think about it. How many times have you woken up and already doubted yourself before the day even began? How often do you find yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, or I'll never be able to do this, or what's the point? Well, let me tell you something. You don't have to keep going down that road. Every single word you speak to yourself has power. It shapes your reality. The words we repeat every day influence how we feel, how we act, and what we achieve. They are not just noise. They are the blueprint for our lives. I want you to think for a moment, how many times have you caught yourself speaking negatively about yourself? Maybe it's when you fail at something, or when you don't get the results you hope for, or maybe it's just in the small everyday moments when you're tired or you're struggling. But those words you speak, they're not harmless. They're shaping the story of your life. You are the author, and the words you choose are the chapters. Words are like seeds. What you plant is what you harvest. When you speak negatively to yourself, you're planting seeds of doubt, insecurity, and fear. And those seeds will grow into your reality, leading you to feelings of helplessness, frustration, and defeat. But when you speak positively, when you speak with power and belief, you plant seeds of strength, resilience, and possibility. Your words create your world. It's time to recognize the power of your self-talk. Have you ever stopped to think about how your words affect your life? Think about the times you've doubted yourself, only to feel more stuck. Every word you speak to yourself affects how you feel and how you act. When you tell yourself you're not good enough, you start to believe it. When you tell yourself you're a failure, you begin to act like one. But here's the truth. You are not what your thoughts tell you. You are what you believe, and you have the power to change your beliefs through the words you speak. Every thought, every word you say to yourself is a seed that grows into your future. If you want to change the direction of your life, you need to change the words you speak to yourself. The power to change your life is already in your hands. It's in the words you choose. So I challenge you, over the next 3 days, pay close attention to what you say to yourself. And if you catch yourself speaking negativity, stop, reframe it, and change it. Because when you speak power into your life, you create the life you truly want. Let's dive deeper into the science of this. You see, there's a hidden power behind the words you tell yourself. When you speak, your brain is listening. Every word is processed, and it shapes your emotions, your behaviors, and ultimately your life. Your brain is constantly being influenced by the words you speak to yourself. The more you repeat something, the more it gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. Your brain is wired to believe what you tell it, and the best part is, if you can change the words you use, you can literally rewire your brain to create a more positive, successful mindset. Think of your mind like a garden. The words you speak are the seeds you plant. If you plant seeds of negativity, self-doubt, and fear, they'll grow into weeds that choke your potential. But if you plant seeds of positivity, hope, and possibility, you'll create a garden full of flowers, of growth, and of success. This is where the concept of neuroplasticity comes in. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to rewire itself based on the thoughts and actions we repeatedly engage in. Every time you speak to yourself, you're creating new neural pathways in your brain. The more positive thoughts you repeat, the more your brain becomes hardwired for success. But if you allow negative self-talk to take over, those pathways get stronger and it becomes harder to break free. The key to changing your reality is shifting those neural pathways by speaking positively and consistently to yourself. What if I told you that every time you speak to yourself, your brain changes? That's not just some motivational talk, it's science. You have the power to shape your own mind. And when you change the way you think, you change the way you act, the way you feel, and ultimately the life you create for yourself. Now let's talk about something crucial: fear and self-doubt. These are the two enemies that keep us stuck. But what if I told you that the fear you feel is not as powerful as you think? Fear is like a shadow. It seems big and intimidating when you focus on it, but when you step into the light, it disappears. Fear is a natural response, but it doesn't have to control you. In fact, fear is often a sign that you're on the right track. When you feel fear, It means you're pushing boundaries, challenging yourself, and stepping into something new. And the only way to overcome that fear is through empowering self-talk. If you let fear dictate your words, it will steal your life. But if you choose to speak powerfully in the face of fear, it will bow down. The battle against fear and doubt is fought in your mind, and when you choose to speak with courage, strength, and confidence, you will crush those doubts and move forward into the life you deserve. Consistency is key. It's easy to start strong, but how do you keep going when things get tough? The secret to long-lasting change is showing up for yourself every day, even when you don't feel like it. Let me ask you this. What would happen if you showed up for yourself every single day, even when you didn't feel like it? What if you committed to speaking positively to yourself every day, no matter how challenging it might be? The truth is, consistency compounds. It's the small steps you take every day that lead to massive transformation. Just like how small drops of water can curve through rock over time, the small, consistent actions you take in your self-talk will shape the life you want. It's about showing up even when it's tough, and when you commit to that, you'll be amazed at the results. Consistency isn't just about action, it's about showing up mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Every day, make a choice to speak words of power to yourself. And remember, you are in control of your destiny. The words you speak are the foundation of everything you want to build. If you want a future full of success, happiness, and fulfillment, it starts with the words you say to yourself. You are the author of your own story. You write the script. You speak the words. Now go make them count. Starting today, choose your words carefully, because the next 3 days will change the rest of your life. The future you want is within your reach. It starts with the words you speak to yourself today. Why do some people walk into every room with a smile, even when life hasn't been kind to them? What is it about certain individuals that enables them to maintain a positive outlook, even when the world seems stacked against them? What if I told you that the difference between them and everyone else lies in one simple thing: the words they speak to themselves? Yes, that's right. The key to their mindset is their self-talk. Every word we speak to ourselves, whether consciously or subconsciously, has the power to shape our perspective, influence our mood, and determine our success. What if you could unlock the same power by simply changing the way you speak to yourself? What if I told you that you too can walk into every room with confidence and a smile, no matter the circumstances, simply by choosing the right words? Now, let me dive deeper into why self-talk is so powerful. The impact of self-talk goes beyond mere positivity or negativity. It affects us on a psychological and physiological level. When we speak to ourselves in a negative way, our brains release stress hormones like cortisol, which increases anxiety, fear, and the feeling of being overwhelmed. This creates a cycle of negativity that's hard to break. But when we speak to ourselves positively, our brains release endorphins, the feel-good hormones that make us feel confident, motivated, and empowered. Did you know that the words you say to yourself can influence how your brain operates on a chemical level? When you say, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough," your brain processes those words and releases cortisol, putting you into a state of stress and fear. But when you say, "I've got this," or "I am capable," your brain releases endorphins, flooding your system with confidence and focus. Your brain is listening to every word you say, and it's shaping your emotional and physical state accordingly. Think about this. Athletes have long known the power of self-talk. Before an intense performance, they don't just rely on their physical preparation, they also mentally prepare by telling themselves, "I can do this," "I am strong," or "I will succeed." This mental preparation helps to optimize their performance, enabling them to push through pain, fatigue, and doubt. It's the power of the mind to drive the body to action. Now let's talk about something incredible: neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to rewire itself based on the thoughts and experiences we have. Every time you think or say something, your brain is creating new neural connections. In other words, every thought is like a mental habit, either strengthening a positive pattern or reinforcing a negative one. Think of your brain as a garden. The words you speak to yourself are the seeds you plant. If you keep planting negativity, you're going to grow a garden full of weeds. But if you start planting seeds of positivity and self-empowerment, you'll begin to see a garden full of strength, resilience, and growth. The choice is yours. Every thought, every word you say has the power to either help you or hinder you. The more you speak negatively to yourself, the more you reinforce those negative neural pathways, making it harder to think positively. But the more you replace those negative thoughts with empowering ones, the stronger your positive neural pathways will become. Rewiring your brain for success. This is the power of neuroplasticity. So what does this all mean for you? It means you have the power to rewire your brain and change your life. The key is in your self-talk. When you start speaking to yourself with love, confidence, and positivity, you'll begin to see changes in your life. The best part? This isn't some abstract concept. This is something you can do right now. You can start today by choosing to speak to yourself with kindness and belief, and watch how it begins to change the way you think, act, and live. You don't have to take my word for it. There are countless real-life examples of people who have used positive self-talk to transform their lives. Take athletes, for example. High performers like Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, and Usain Bolt didn't get to the top of their fields just because of their physical abilities. They got there because of the mental strength they built through positive self-talk. They spoke words of encouragement, strength, and belief to themselves before, during, and after their performances. And it's not just athletes. Successful entrepreneurs, leaders, and visionaries have all used the power of self-talk to overcome obstacles and reach their goals. Think about someone like Oprah Winfrey, who came from a challenging background but rose to become one of the most influential people in the world. She attributed much of her success to the power of her inner dialogue. Oprah often talks about how she constantly affirmed her worth and her vision even when others doubted her. Could changing how you talk to yourself make you more successful in your own life? Of course it can. The most successful people in the world have learned how to master their self-talk, and now it's your turn to do the same. Here's the truth. Words aren't just noise. They are building blocks of your life. The words you speak to yourself every day are the lens through which you see the world, and that lens shapes everything. When you speak to yourself with love and belief, you see opportunities, possibilities, and solutions. But when you speak to yourself with doubt and negativity, you see limitations, obstacles, and failure. Take the example of someone who has transformed their life by changing their words. Consider someone who's been struggling with self-doubt, always hearing the voice of negativity in their head, but one day they decide to change. They start to speak to themselves with encouragement. I am worthy, I am capable, I can achieve great things. Over time, this shift in self-talk starts to show results. They begin to feel more confident, take action, and see success in areas they once believed were out of reach. The key takeaway here is simple. Words are not just noise, they shape your reality. And you have the power to shape your reality with the words you choose to speak to yourself. Starting today, choose your words wisely, because the life you want begins with the way you talk to yourself. Have you ever caught yourself spiraling into negative thoughts, thinking that you're not good enough, or doubting your ability to succeed? You know the feeling, the inner critic that tells you you're not capable, that you're not deserving of success, or that you'll never make it? What happens when you feed yourself negativity, doubts, and fear? It's more than just a fleeting thought. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. That negativity becomes the barrier between you and your dreams. It blocks the path to success before you even take the first step. It undermines your confidence, crushes your hope, and makes you feel small. But what if I told you that those negative thoughts could be the very thing stopping you from reaching your potential? What if you could break free from this cycle of self-doubt and unleash the power within you? You see, negative self-talk doesn't just stay as a thought. It creates a cycle, a loop that keeps pulling you down. When you tell yourself you can't, that you'll fail, or that you're not good enough, it affects everything you do. These thoughts begin to feel overwhelmed, uncertain, and hesitant to take action. And that's where the cycle of self-sabotage begins. What you say to yourself matters. A single moment of doubt can snowball into a full-on cycle of negativity, locking you in a prison of your own making. It stops you from taking the risks you need to move forward. It makes you hesitant to act on your goals, and it keeps you playing small. The more you listen to these thoughts, the more you convince yourself that you can't succeed. And that's when the cycle gets tighter. The more you believe the negativity, the more it becomes your reality. The cycle isn't just about habit, it limits your potential. Every missed opportunity, every time you hold back because of fear or doubt, is a result of those negative thoughts. The longer you listen to that inner critic, the more you shrink from your true potential. You convince yourself you're not good enough, capable enough, or worthy enough. But let me tell you, you are enough. Now here's the truth. You are your own worst critic, but you are also your greatest advocate. The question is, which one will you choose to feed? Which voice will you listen to, the critic or the advocate? Think about it. How many times has negative self-talk stopped you from reaching your goals, from making bold moves, from pursuing your dreams? What would have happened if you'd turned those negative thoughts into positive ones? Imagine the doors you could have opened if you had chosen to believe in your own potential instead of doubting it. Take the story of a successful individual who's faced their own doubts and fears. Consider someone like Michael Jordan, who was once cut from his high school basketball team. That setback could have become his story of failure, but instead he chose to listen to the voice that said, "I can do this. I will work harder. I will be better." That inner dialogue shaped him into the legend we know today. He chose to silence the doubt and amplify the belief in himself. Negative self-talk doesn't just affect our mindset, it affects our entire mental and emotional health. When you feed yourself negativity, you begin to feel unworthy. It's like carrying a heavy weight, an emotional burden that drags you down. It creates stress, frustration, and a constant sense of dissatisfaction. It's like a storm cloud that follows you around, darkening your world, making it harder to see the opportunities that are right in front of you. Think about how many times have you held back from pursuing something simply because your internal dialogue told you it was too risky, too hard, or impossible. That voice of doubt stops you from taking action, from stepping out of your comfort zone, from challenging yourself. And every time you listen to it, you reinforce the idea that you can't. But here's the good news. The moment you choose to change your internal dialogue is the moment everything begins to shift. When you start speaking to yourself with love, with belief, and with encouragement, you change not only how you feel, but how you act. Positive self-talk is the first step in breaking the cycle. Let me challenge you today. Starting now, become aware of the words you speak to yourself. Are you building yourself up or tearing yourself down? Are you affirming your strengths or are you focusing on your weaknesses? Every thought you have is an opportunity to break the cycle. You can either let the negativity control you or you can take charge and choose a path of empowerment and belief. When you stop feeding the negative voice and start cultivating a more positive mindset, that's when the real transformation happens. It's a process and it's not always easy, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Your future is shaped by your self-talk. The words you speak today will determine the life you live tomorrow. And if you choose to speak life, love, and possibility to yourself, you will begin to see a future filled with success, growth, and fulfillment. So ask yourself, who are you listening to in your head, the critic or the advocate? The moment you choose to silence the doubt and listen to the voice of belief, everything changes. The power to transform your life is in your hands, and it starts with the words you speak to yourself. Have you ever wished for a quick, simple way to change your mindset and boost your confidence? What if I told you that in the next 3 days you have the opportunity to shift your inner dialogue and, in doing so, transform the course of your life? The power to change is already within you. It's just a matter of changing the way you speak to yourself. Your words have the power to shape your world. So, what's stopping you from taking control of your thoughts today? Why wait? The change can begin right now. It's not about magic, it's about awareness and commitment. It all starts with awareness. The first step to change is simply noticing the words you say to yourself. Let me tell you something, your mind is constantly talking to you, but are you truly listening? The first step to taking control of your thoughts is to pay attention to that inner voice, the voice that tells you, you can't do this, or you'll never be good enough. Recognize when you're engaging in negative self-talk. For the next 24 hours, I want you to simply observe the thoughts you have about yourself. Are they helping or hurting you? Are they lifting you up or pulling you down? How often do you find yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, or I don't have what it takes? Are you living on autopilot, or are you choosing the thoughts that define your day? Your thoughts don't have to control you, but first you need to become aware of them. This is the first step in taking back control. Once you notice the negativity, the next step is to reframe it into something positive and empowering. Instead of saying, I can't do this, change it to, I am capable of figuring this out. Reframing isn't about denying the challenge, it's about empowering yourself to rise above it. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you want a positive future, start with positive thoughts today. Let me ask you, when you catch a negative thought, do you just let it slide, or do you challenge it? Every time you have a negative thought, challenge it. Turn it into something positive and empowering. Think of your thoughts as seeds. What you plant today determines the life you'll grow tomorrow. If you plant seeds of doubt and fear, you'll grow a garden of failure. But if you plant seeds of confidence and possibility, you'll cultivate a future of success. Affirmations are the fuel that keep your positive self-talk strong and consistent. Start your day with a simple affirmation. I am enough. I am worthy of success and happiness. These words remind you of your inherent value and set a powerful tone for the day. The words you speak to yourself each morning are the first brushstrokes on the canvas of your day. Successful individuals, from athletes to entrepreneurs, use affirmations to stay focused and motivated. They set their intentions, they claim their success, and they speak life into their goals. They don't wait for the world to give them permission to succeed. They give themselves permission. Set aside 5 minutes each morning to speak life into your goals and dreams. The first words you say to yourself set the course for your entire day. Imagine what would happen if you spoke words of power every single morning. You'd be unstoppable. For the next 3 days, I challenge you to repeat your affirmations out loud and feel the power of positive reinforcement. There's a reason why top performers swear by positive self-talk. It's not magic, it's mindset. One powerful example is the story of a high-performing athlete who changed their mindset with just a few words. This athlete was once plagued by doubt and fear before every competition, but when they shifted their inner dialogue from "I can't" to "I will," their performance transformed. Positive self-talk is the practical tool that helped this person turn their life around. It wasn't a magic formula, it was a commitment to themselves, to their potential, and to their belief in their own power. Imagine what your life could look like in 3 days if you dedicated yourself to changing the way you speak to yourself. You already have the power to change, you just need to unlock it. This challenge isn't a quick fix. It's a lifestyle change that will transform your world. For the next 3 days, I challenge you to say nothing but positive things to yourself. If a negative thought enters your mind, flip it immediately. The more you practice positive self-talk, the more it becomes ingrained in who you are and how you live. Your mind is a powerful tool, and when you begin to control your thoughts, you begin to control your destiny. Are you ready to take control of your thoughts, break the cycle, and create the life you deserve? Your future is waiting, but it starts with the words you speak today. Positive self-talk is not a magical solution, it's a transformative, practical tool. It's not about hoping things will change on their own, it's about taking action and making your mindset your greatest asset. It opens doors to success, happiness, and peace of mind. The more you practice, the more you will experience real lasting change. So you don't have to wait for circumstances to align perfectly. You can create your own alignment by how you choose to think and speak. Commit to making this change today and watch how your world transforms over the next 3 days. Your words shape your world. Choose them wisely and watch everything change. How often do you pause to think about the power of the words you speak to yourself? What if I told you that the very words you speak could determine the course of your life? If you truly believed your words could shape your life, how would you speak differently? Would you speak more kindly to yourself? Would you encourage yourself to take that next step? Let me tell you something. Your words are more than just noise. They're the blueprint for your reality. The way you talk to yourself every single day shapes the way you see the world and how you interact with it. So the question is, what's the narrative you're telling yourself? If it's filled with negativity and self-doubt, it's time to change the script. Affirmations aren't just feel-good statements, they're a science-backed method for rewiring your thought patterns. When you repeat affirmations, you stimulate the brain's neuroplasticity, its ability to create new pathways and beliefs. Think of your mind like a garden. If you plant positive seeds of affirmation, over time you'll grow a garden of belief and confidence. But if you plant negativity, that's what will flourish. This isn't magic, this is neuroscience. Your mind responds to the words you speak. Repeating empowering phrases rewires your brain, allowing you to see opportunities instead of obstacles. What if you could reprogram your brain to see only possibility? Affirmations are the key to unlocking that potential. You have the power to shape your reality, starting with the words you speak. Look at athletes like Kobe Bryant, who used affirmations to stay focused on his goals despite the odds. Every day he told himself, I am the best, I am unstoppable, and look where that belief took him. Actors like Jim Carrey have used affirmations to bring their dreams to life. Carey famously wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and years later he received exactly that amount for his role in Dumb and Dumber. These individuals didn't just rely on talent, they fueled their success with the words they spoke to themselves every single day. Affirmations are not just about thinking positive thoughts. They're about changing the way you see yourself and the world around you. What would your life look like if you spoke to yourself the way these successful people do? How would your reality shift? The power is within you to create the life you desire by simply shifting the way you speak to yourself. Every day you are planting seeds of success or failure. The seeds you plant today will determine the fruits of tomorrow. Affirmations are about consistency. The more you repeat positive statements, the more deeply they're embedded in your subconscious mind. Think of affirmations as the gas in your car. The more fuel you put in, the further you go. Your words are the fuel for your journey. You can't expect to get results by affirming once in a while. Make affirmations a daily habit and watch how they propel you forward. What would happen if for the next 30 days you only spoke words of empowerment to yourself? Let's find out. Imagine the change you could see in your life simply by committing to speak powerfully to yourself every single day. Affirmations aren't just positive thinking. They're a direct method of changing your belief systems and driving your actions. The words you speak to yourself shape the way you see yourself, the way you act, and the way the world responds to you. If you change your self-talk, you change your life. You don't need to wait for the world to affirm you. Start affirming yourself. The world will follow. Starting today, choose one affirmation and say it every day. Observe how it impacts your decisions, your actions, and your energy. Your belief system is yours to shape. Start now and let your words be the foundation for the life you want. The change you seek is already within you, waiting to be unlocked by the words you choose to speak. Let's make it happen. Have you ever noticed how fear and doubt always show up just when you're about to make a bold move? It's almost as if they have a sixth sense, appearing at the most inconvenient times just when you're about to take the next step toward greatness. Fear and doubt, they are natural. They are part of being human. But are they enemies holding you back, or can they be the very tools that push you forward? What if instead of avoiding fear, you learn to embrace it as your teacher? Imagine that. Instead of running from fear, you could face it head on and use it to fuel your growth. Fear and doubt are not always the enemies they appear to be. When harnessed, they can be your greatest motivators for change, your greatest catalysts for growth. Fear often holds us back from achieving greatness, makes us second guess our abilities, question our potential, and ultimately limits our actions. The truth is, fear is not based in reality. It's often rooted in past experiences or imagined outcomes. We fear what we don't understand, what we've never done before, or what feels uncomfortable. How many times have you held yourself back from taking action simply because you were afraid of failing? How many opportunities have you missed because fear told you no? The reality is, fear tells us to stay safe, to avoid risk, to stay inside the comfort zone. But it's when we step out of our comfort zones that real transformation begins. It's when we face fear and choose to act anyway that we discover what we're truly capable of. Fear may feel paralyzing, but understanding its origin and recognizing it as a natural part of growth is the first step toward overcoming it. Picture this. What would you do if failure wasn't even an option? What bold moves would you make? Imagine for a moment that fear had no hold on you. If you could take that first step without hesitation, what would that look like? The difference between success and failure is often just overcoming that initial fear. What's stopping you from taking that first step? Why let fear dictate your actions? Fear and doubt can keep us from acting. And when you realize that failure is not the end but a lesson, you can start making bold moves toward success. Fear is like a shadow. The more you focus on it, the larger it seems. But when you confront it, it shrinks. It's all in how you choose to view it. The more you avoid or fear the shadow of doubt, the more power it gains over you. But when you face it head on, it loses its power. You can either be consumed by the shadow of fear or step into the light of action. Your choice. Are you going to let that shadow control your life, or will you step forward and let the light guide you? You have the power to choose how much weight fear holds in your life. When you stop feeding it with your attention, it loses its strength. If you let fear dictate your words, it will steal your life. But if you choose to speak powerfully in the face of fear, it will bow down. Every time fear shows up, you have the power to fight back with empowering words. These words can alter your mindset and overcome the negative thoughts fear brings. Next time fear tries to speak to you, turn it around. Instead of "I can't," say "I will." Instead of "this is too hard," say "I am capable of handling this." The more you speak empowering words, the stronger you become in battling fear and doubt. You have the power to shift your reality with the words you choose to speak. The war against fear and doubt is not fought in the outside world, it's fought in your mind. If you can win the battle in your mind, you've already won the battle in life. Your mind is like a battlefield. The thoughts you choose to focus on determine the outcome of that battle. Are you going to let fear control your mind? Or are you going to take back control with empowering thoughts and words? The next time doubt or fear creeps in, remember, you control the battlefield. The choice is yours, and it's time to start winning. What would happen if you decided right now that you were going to show up for yourself every single day, no matter how you feel? It's easy to commit to something when you're energized, excited, and motivated, but the real challenge, the true test of your dedication, is showing up on the tough days when you don't feel like it. What if, on those days, you chose to show up anyway? This is where the magic happens. The key to lasting success is not in those fleeting moments of motivation, but in your ability to remain consistent, even when everything inside you tells you to quit. It's not about doing it all at once or having the perfect conditions. It's about committing to yourself, no matter how you feel. When you do this, you create a foundation of discipline that will carry you through when the going gets tough. In the quest for success, it's easy to get caught up in the idea of grand bursts of intensity, working tirelessly for a few days then burning out. But real change comes from consistency. It's the small, steady actions we take every day, day in and day out, that create the real, lasting transformation. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to be the best at everything. What you need is consistency, small, daily steps toward your goals. Think of consistency like watering a plant. You don't see immediate results. At first, the growth is slow and it might feel like nothing is happening, but over time, with steady effort, you will see that plant grow and flourish. The same happens with your goals and dreams. You may not see the results right away, but every small effort you make compounds over time, leading you toward the life you desire. What would happen if you focused on doing a little every day instead of waiting for the perfect moment to give it your all? Imagine the power of consistently showing up, doing the work, even when it's not easy. It's the small actions you take daily that build your success over time, not the occasional burst of effort when you feel inspired. Consistency is a game changer. Look at someone like Michael Jordan. His success didn't come from a single game-winning shot. It came from hours of practice every day, honing his skills, pushing his limits. He didn't rely on raw talent alone. He built his greatness on the small, consistent efforts he made every day. Success doesn't come from one big break. It comes from the quiet victories you achieve every single day. Imagine trying to move a mountain. It's impossible to move it all at once, but if you focus on moving a single stone each day over time, you'll have moved the entire mountain. That's how consistency works. It's about taking small steps day after day toward your goals. These small actions are the foundation for your ultimate success. Consistency compounds. It's not the intensity of the effort, but the consistency of the effort that creates real, lasting change. Think about it. Each positive thought, each small action, when done consistently, builds upon itself. At first it may seem insignificant, but over time, these small actions create a snowball effect that leads to massive transformation. What if you decided to show up just for a few minutes each day? How much progress could you make over the course of a year, 5 years, 10 years? That's the power of consistency. The power of consistency isn't in doing a lot at once. It's in doing something every single day, no matter how small. If you commit to showing up for yourself every day, even on the days when you don't feel like it, you'll start to see massive progress over time. The key is to make it a habit to show up for yourself no matter what. Here's the challenge. Commit to speaking positively to yourself every single day. The effort doesn't need to be grand, but it must be consistent. It's the small positive affirmations you repeat every day that build the foundation for a confident, powerful you. Imagine what your life would look like if you made this commitment to yourself. Not for a week, not for a month, but for an entire year. To change your life, commit to this challenge of daily consistency. Your future self will thank you. Your small actions today are the building blocks of your success tomorrow. So show up for yourself every day. Are you ready to step into your greatness? To look at yourself in the mirror and speak to yourself like you matter? Think about it. How often have you held back from speaking your truth? How often have you doubted your own potential? How many times have you let fear or insecurity steal your chance to rise? Today is the day that changes. The choice is yours. Will you continue to shrink back, staying in the comfort of your doubts and fears, or will you step forward into the person you're meant to be, the person you've always been destined to become? The power to change is in your hands right now. It all starts with the words you choose to speak to yourself. Here's the challenge. For the next 3 days, speak only positive words to yourself. Not just when it's easy, do it on the tough days too. What you say to yourself matters. If you say nothing, or worse, speak negatively, you are holding yourself back. But if you speak life into your soul, you set the stage for your greatness. You're laying the foundation for success, for transformation. It starts today. The next 3 days are critical. They will shape the future you want. But understand this isn't just a fleeting fix. It's a start of a new life, a lifestyle where you speak to yourself with love, respect, and belief. A lifestyle where you stand tall in your power and refuse to shrink away. Your words will shift the way you see yourself and the world around you. If you truly want to change, you must treat yourself like the champion you are. No more excuses, no more self-doubt, no more playing small. It's time to stop letting the world's opinions define you, and it's time to stop letting your own inner critic hold you back. What would happen if you treated yourself with the same love and respect that you give to others? What would change in your life? Your growth starts with you. Your power lies in how you choose to speak to yourself. If you want the world to respect you, you must first respect yourself. No one will believe in your worth until you start believing in it first. You are your own greatest asset. Start speaking to yourself like you believe it. Think of your words as the architects of your future. Will you build a mansion or a shack? Every word you speak plants a seed for your future. If you speak positively, you're building a foundation for success, happiness, and fulfillment. But if you let negativity run rampant, you're constructing walls of limitation. You're locking yourself into a life of missed opportunities and unrealized dreams. What kind of future do you want to create for yourself? Do you want a house built with self-doubt or a fortress built with confidence? Your words will shape the outcome. You have the power to build something amazing or tear it down before it even starts, and that power begins with you right now. Look back at how far you've come. Your journey has been shaped by the words you've spoken to yourself, both the good and the bad. Every triumph and every setback has been influenced by the story you've told yourself, but today that story can change. Starting today, let's commit to speaking words that propel us forward. Speak to yourself like you matter because you do. This is where it starts. You're the one who gets to decide how the rest of your story will unfold. Every moment is a new opportunity to build the future you deserve with your words. Speak life, speak greatness, speak to yourself like you matter because you do. How badly do you want change? Are you ready to make it happen in just 3 days? Think about that. Are you truly ready to take action? You've been given the tools, the mindset, and the challenge. But the real question is, are you going to step up? Change doesn't just happen on its own. You make it happen. You decide. It's in your hands. You've got the power within you. The choice is yours. Will you take that first step toward the life you've always dreamed of? Will you commit to speaking differently, thinking differently, and acting differently? Your future isn't waiting for permission, it's waiting for you to take the first step. You are capable of more than you know. Now it's time to unlock it. We've talked about how self-talk is the blueprint for your reality. Your words shape your actions, your beliefs, and your future. Positive self-talk is the foundation of everything. When you speak to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and strength, you start to change the way you see yourself. You'll start to notice that you're not just thinking differently, you're acting differently. And that's where the magic happens. We also discussed the importance of consistency, showing up every day no matter how you feel. Visualization, the ability to see your success before it happens, gives you the clarity and motivation to take action, and by overcoming self-doubt, you gain the courage to believe in your abilities even when the road gets tough. This isn't a quick fix. This is the start of something lasting. This is the foundation of a new way of living, a new way of thinking. The more consistently you speak positively to yourself, the more you will begin to see your reality shift. You are the author of your own story. You write the script and you speak the words. The power is in your hands. Think of your life as a book. How you choose to speak to yourself will determine how that story unfolds. Will it be a story of triumph or will it be one of defeat? Only you can decide. Every word you speak, every thought you entertain is a page in the book of your life. Choose wisely. Choose strength, choose power, choose belief. Your future is yours to create. The chapters ahead of you are waiting to be written. What will you fill them with? Starting today, choose your words carefully. The next 3 days are going to be the catalyst for the rest of your life. What you say to yourself now will determine your future. For the next 3 days, speak only words that empower you. No negativity, no self-doubt, just words of strength, possibility, and action. This is your time. The clock is ticking. Will you take the challenge and begin the transformation, or will you let it slip by like so many other chances? Go make those words count, because the next 3 days will change the rest of your life. Your future begins today.